So savings out of the window, you've invested 5-6 crores in a gym, COVID has hit, and now you decide, okay, I need to find some other way to start making money. And you've started a training session. And that training session returns are coming now, 4 years later, now you have 80 people visiting. House of Homes had a retail store, you said, in 2019. So 2017 you opened the gym, 2019 you have House of Homes, 2020 COVID hits. Now 2019 House of Homes, were you making money at that time?
So I'm not gender biased when it comes to floral design, not really, but I just feel that especially women resonate with it. Like you said, the softness, the delicateness. He did not lose hope during COVID where so many gyms around India, around the world, they shut down. But he was strong in his head, I will pay every single employee till this phase gets over. It was tough for us, all of us. And today our gym is one of the best gyms of the Northeast.
Pineapple Podcast, episode number 7. Today we are graced by the presence of Bhavna Mordani, the person behind House of Homes. Do check it out. It's a phenomenal enterprise. She is a floral entrepreneur, which means she creates mesmerizing arrangements which make any event even more spectacular. Corporate gifting, arrangements during Diwali, arrangements during any function in your house. She teaches as well as can come on board and do it for you. More importantly, she is a single mother, raised beautiful daughters, is from a fantastic city in India, which I would like you to find out from the podcast, enjoys working out, and you won't believe how old she is. Find out in the podcast and find out what makes this woman tick. Welcome to one more episode of the Pineapple Podcast. Mario, we are on fire. Episode 7.
Certainly having a rocking time today, aren't we?
Today we are honored, feeling very floored, I don't know. Because we have Bhavna Mordani in the house. The first question you must have had, Bhavna, is why are these guys calling me for this podcast? Yes? Here's what I know about you. You have made your career in the gym. You have made your career with your own retail store, which has gone online. You have made your own career in a teaching job. All well and good. But you're making your career in decorative space. I have no idea how this works. So I want to start with the absolute basic. How did you even know that there was a chance to have a career here? And what is it you do?
So I'm basically into luxury gifting and floral design. So I started my work around 5 years ago, where I turned 42 and I was like, this is the time I really need to do something for myself, because I spent a lot of my young years of my life being married, raising children. So I was like, okay, now I want to do something for myself and I want to work. And since I got married very young, it was my grandfather's aspiration to see me married by the time I was 21. I really wanted to study and make a mark for myself, but according to the traditions, I got married and then the life followed. So when my kids grew up, I felt like, okay, now this is the time where I can follow my passion. And I was always a very creative person and I wanted to do something related to beauty and luxury. So I founded my brand called House of Homes, which is into luxury gifting and into floral design.
What is luxury gifting?
So luxury gifting is premium gifting, which we cater for the wedding industry, of course the corporates also, and for festivals. In luxury gifting, the way the hampers or the gifts are done, it's decorated very finely, and my forte in House of Homes is decorating them with either fresh or artificial flowers. We use a lot of exotic flowers to decorate the hampers. So whatever food is in it, or your utility items in the hamper, okay, great, going. But what I feel is today people really don't care about what's inside the hamper. I think the presentation is so important. Like we say in Hindi, jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai, as in like the presentation sells. So I started studying floral design so that I can enhance my gifting business. So I studied floral design from London Flower School and Institute of... no, I did an online course with them. So, and with the Institute of Floral Design in Dadar, also online with them. I studied floral design with them during COVID. and I started using all the floral design techniques in my gift hampers, and I was able to elevate the value of the gifts many folds by using floral design. And as I started using floral design in my gifting, I realized that the same floral design I can start using in home decor, and in also like for festivals, functions, like how people have like Ganpati or Diwali parties, we started doing floral design for them. And I feel the market today for florals is growing so many folds, and it's healing. You know, whenever I'm working with flowers, trying to create a centerpiece or a floral arrangement of a gift floral arrangement, I just forget that the world outside of me exists. It's absolutely therapeutic working with flowers.
So I still want to rewind a little bit. When did you realize that, first of all, you're good at this, that you're able to work with flowers? Secondly, that I'm going to start my business. I need to make money on this. I'm going to start making gifting solutions for corporates and start creating floral designs for homes. That's how I'm going to get money. How did you arrive at that decision?
I think it was intuitive, and I don't know, I was just going with the flow, because when I launched my business in 2019 October, very soon COVID hit. So I launched my luxury gifting and home decor business. I opened a home decor store in Shillong where my parents reside. So we started in October, and by February 2020, COVID hit. It took a complete backseat. For almost 1.5, 2 years, this whole luxury business collapsed. But during COVID, like especially after the first phase of COVID was over, a lot of online teaching started happening. And that was the time I came across floral design, and I was like, okay, why don't I study this so that I can make best use of my time during a quarantine? And everything just started falling in place, and by the time COVID was settling down, suddenly the luxury business started really picking up. And what I also started doing during COVID, like the second phase of COVID, I started teaching floral design. Whatever I was learning, even before I was certified, I started teaching it online to people out there, to women, especially my niche audience, that they should be able to create things like centerpieces or console arrangements in the comforts of their homes without having to hire people, without having to spend too much money. Just go and pick up few basic flowers from your florist and start building designs. And the turnout was so beautiful. Like, people didn't even know something like a study called floral design exists, right? And when I introduced it, like I was one of the pioneers in India to introduce short courses on floral design, online courses on floral design through my online workshops, and it picked up momentum so beautifully. And today, when women create these gift hampers with florals, or they create their home decor with florals, I mean, it's so empowering, Krishna. I can't even put it in words. I literally get goosebumps. Like, my teaching journey has really helped me grow, heal in so many ways. It's not even funny. So it's just like one thing led to the other. So it just evolved, I would say.
Did you have a teaching background in any way before you started this?
Never.
Have you ever spoken online to a big audience before?
Never. I was the very shy and timid and the backstage kind of a person. Even in school, I would always be very scared to take the leading roles. I would be like, no.
So
I want to be
how
backstage.
did this happen? That you said, okay, I'm going to go online.
I don't know, Krishna, it just happened very impromptu, and I mean, whatever I was learning, maybe it was healing me and it was helping me grow in such a way that I felt that so many women out there need to know this. Like,
Why?
I mean, as women, we feel, all of us, we have our struggles, when as our, we settle into marriages, we have kids, too many responsibilities, not too many, maybe we do all have some sort of setbacks or some sort of sorrows, pain. We all go through our share of setbacks, and there is something that you need outside your regular life, a hobby or something which disconnects you and which also helps you to grow and also helps you to make money out of it. So I felt teaching this to women, I mean, it's something that you can start a business of floral design or gifting right from the comforts of their homes, of your homes, right? So what you can do is learn from me and pick up the few basic materials, start putting it out there, and you don't even need to invest too much. So I felt when I started working, I was lucky. I had the support of many wonderful people, my family, my friends. But there were many people out there, women out there, I felt maybe they need some sort of hand holding or mentoring. And I was empowered by my people in so many ways. Suddenly I started empowering people outside of me, right? And it just so happened. I never planned that I should start empowering women and I should be their like role model, their mentor. It was just flowing into my life. And today when I get messages from my participants or their designs I see they're creating, they're selling, making money, I just feel like a goddess, you know. It has empowered me. Like I have said this before also. I just feel we all need to be independent also, like financially. So I feel something like this, a hobby like this, can really help you grow in many ways.
I'm going to come in here. Okay, I'm going to make some stereotypical comments. I want you to weigh in on this. Taking off to what Krishna asked, you asked why did you feel that you need to empower women, and from another angle, mostly a flower, something beautiful, is very closely associated with the feminine, right? I mean, you won't think of the flower doesn't get associated with the masculine. The masculine is more for power, right? So if you think this is a business, I mean, it'll be very tough for you to find men trying to do floral designs. In fact, it'll be a little, I mean, I'm talking about the traditional view, right? There may be men who are doing this, but it's more of a business where women will take to it naturally. I mean, if I were to come and wear floral designs, you look at me and say, what do you put on? Why are you dressing with flowers? I don't like. So it's a little, but for women, it tends to come naturally, right? Because the whole concept of flower is beauty. So do you think that that's another reason why it comes?
She just said how hard she had to work, and you're saying it came naturally.
No, it comes to the feminine. I'm saying to the feminine because you said you're empowering women.
It comes naturally, Bhavna. Okay.
You know, in fact, Mario, if you look back, the top floral designers of the world are men today. Jeff Leatham, who planned the whole Ambani wedding, or Preston Rayleigh, all these guys are hardcore alpha men, and they have come up with the most spectacular floral designs. So I'm not gender biased when it comes to floral design, not really, but I just feel that especially women resonate with it, like you said, the softness, the delicateness, and it's easy to connect with flowers in a way, rather than getting into a hobby which requires, like, let's say photography or something like. So like I studied photography also, it requires an extensive investment of a kit and lights and everything. With floral designs, with 300-400 rupees, you can just start your hobby, or you can start evolving from there without investing much. And I feel women who are limited on their resources, it's a great place to start for them.
I want you to rewind a little bit. Today is 2020, COVID is going on rampant. You're about to start your first ever class, maybe tomorrow. I want you to tell me whose idea was it that I'm going to go online and conduct a class. And then I would like you to just guide me through, on a high level, what were your thoughts like before that class happened? And what did you do in that class?
So initially when I started having my class, I already had
Whose idea was it?
My own idea it was,
okay.
yes. So when I decided that I should teach floral design online while I was studying it, so I already had an Instagram page of my House of Homes, the home decor gifting part, right? I started putting up creatives that I'm having this workshop in which I will teach you how to do a table styling with florals and everything. There would hardly be any few people who would want to inquire, who would want to learn. And that time we didn't have this Instagram ads, anything, whatever audience it was very organic. And I would always feel like, oh my God, nobody even wants to learn what I want to teach, you know. And there were times when I used to have my workshops and there were only 4 participants, but I used to still conduct the whole show, bringing in the flowers, doing the whole decor, everything, teaching them wholeheartedly. And so many times after my workshop would get over, I would get so exhausted because I'm standing for 3.5 hours while I'm teaching, right? And I would just sit down and I'd be like, only 2-3 people want to learn this. And initially I was teaching free. I was not even charging anything. And I would tell my brother, like, he would ask me what happened, how was your workshop? I would tell my brother that I've hardly had any participants, but it's okay, you know, as long as 2-3 people learn and now they will create this table setup or this gift arrangement. My brother just told me one thing, just keep doing. Do not get motivated by the size of your audience. And I used to be like, nee, but I get so tired. And and my brother's like, any which ways, it's COVID, right? So there's not much you can do out there to gather people or have offline classes. Just continue. You love it? I said, yeah, I just love it. Like how, I don't even come to know how those 3 hours pass. And while I'm teaching, I just feel I'm on a stage and I just feel like a celebrity out there. And I know even if the audience is just 2 or 3 people, but I feel I'm talking to an audience of 1,000, the way I deliver, the way I do it. And my brother was like, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Don't give up, right? So it was, I think I always owe this to my brother, that he was like, this is your journey, go for it. And today I have so much recognition. I may be making money out of my gifting business or home decor business, but the fame, the recognition that I have got from my teaching, now it's become a business. Of course, I'm charging people from 2 to 3 participants. Now I have a workshop in which I've had almost 80, 85 participants. Wow. And also recordings of that are sold throughout the year.
In 4 years,
yes.
you've gone from 2 to 3 participants
yes.
to 80 paid participants.
Paid participants per class.
I admire the fact that your patience.
Yeah.
I'm jumping in here because today a lot of people, they start something, they want to turn around in 24/7, right? I mean, I put in effort. It's 2-3 months. Why am I not getting, why aren't people coming and subscribing? Where are the views? Where is this? People want that monetization in months, in days. And if they don't get something in 6 months, what's that thing they say? Fail fast. So they stop it and then they jump to something new. But I think in your case, you persisted and you prevailed, right?
Absolutely. I mean that instant gratification, I don't believe in that, because even when, since I'm into working out and into strength training, I have learnt this in my life, that the reward systems are not as quick as you may want them to be. It does take time, right?
Is that the reason for it? The years in the gym, strength training, because I'm guessing know this better than anyone.
Yeah.
Gym is something that you'll get returns maybe years down the line. Sometimes months, but mostly years down the line.
Yes.
Is that the reason for the belief system you have of persistence?
Yes, I think my strength training has also taught me that. And as much as we would wish that, okay, today I'm putting in so much work, or I'm following this diet, I should lose so many kgs so quick. But I feel if your rewards are delayed, they are somehow magnified and even more beautiful. So my gym business or my gymming passion has taught me that it takes time.
When did this gym passion start? What age?
So from school days only, I was always into fitness, and in school we were playing badminton, and then when I came to college I got into swimming. But I did not learn it that well in a way, and I got married after I finished my college. I got married, and then I was into my very regular gymming, like a cardio, this, that, just going to the gym kind of a thing. But as I turned 30, I realized that how important working out is, not only for your physical health but for your mental health.
Why did you realize this?
I don't know, the days when I used to not work out the way I used to feel, like body wise or head wise, and I'm a person who always wants to fit into a certain kind of size. So that was also one of the reasons why I felt, okay, no, I'm not getting to buy this, or I'm not getting to buy this size, I need to fit into this size. That was one of the reasons initially, the aesthetics. But while conquering the aesthetic part, I realized that this was doing more good to me for my head than for my body. And of course, there were days when I was off the gym and off my swimming routine. So as my kids were growing up, they were learning swimming, with the proper trainers professionally. So while they were learning, I started also learning with them. So their coach was also coaching me, teaching me all the strokes and everything. I didn't know all that, right? In college, it was very freestyle, that's it. So with my kids, they were learning all the strokes, and I was so fascinated. I said, I should know. I love the water. I'm like, I should know all these strokes. I should know the backstroke, the flips, or the diving, or the dolphin stroke. And I started learning, and again, like swimming, I think it just calms you, centers you. So I just feel whether it's swimming or any other sport, or it's gymming, weightlifting, some sort of workout is so important to keep you happy in all aspects of your life. And yes, coming back to it, delayed gratification, it It really teaches you that, right? And I feel the heavier weights you are lifting, in a way, it's teaching you that you can do better, you can do more. So when you see the graph that you're lifting heavier, it teaches you so much about life. I don't know. I think gym or working out really resonates with me on my personal life level also.
So much that it became a business for you.
Yes, absolutely.
When did gym become a business?
So we started our Goals Gym in Shillong in 2017, me and my brother.
Okay.
Yes, so see, I always had a passion of working out. I was into gymming and everything. Even while I was in Bombay, I always had a gym membership, and I gradually got into strength training or HIIT, or spinning or anything, some form of exercise I was always doing. And whenever I would go back to Shillong to meet my parents, I would always tell my brother, like, Shillong does not have a good gym, right? Look at Bombay, we have such beautiful gyms there, and there is not single well-established good machines, and all of this, we need all the services. And so my brother it was always at the back of his mind, yes, Shillong does not have a good gym. In fact, the whole Northeast did not have a good gym during that time.
What year is this?
2017.
17, okay.
Yes. And then my brother and my cousin brother, we all came up with this thinking, why don't we open a gym in Shillong? So they started looking for a place. We were very lucky, we got a place. My dad, he signed the deal and everything. And my brother was like, we are going to contact Goals Gym, right? So they were the most premier gym in India at that time. And we signed a franchise with them. In the next 5 months, our 3-floor gym was up and running.
Floors?
Yes.
Wow.
So we have a 3-floor gym in Shillong. And
how much did you have to invest, if you don't mind me asking?
About 5.5, 6 CRs.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, in 2017.
Have you made money on this?
COVID hit very fast. After
Yeah.
2017, we made our gym. By the time we were recovering our costs and everything, in the next 2 years, we had a major setback with the gyms shutting down. And my brother made it a policy, like no matter what the whole business or the whole family was going through during COVID, he made it a point that every single employer cannot go without a salary. While COVID was on, there were many establishments which did not pay the gym instructors or the gym people, whatever, the staff. But my brother, he was so resilient and so clear about this. This business of mine has to thrive. He did not lose hope during COVID, where so many gyms around India, around the world, they shut down. But he was strong in his head, I will pay every single employee till this phase gets over. It was tough for us, all of us. And today our gym is one of the best gyms of the Northeast. We have received so many awards at the various conventions around the world. So I'm really proud of my brother. Yes, my family has a lot to do with where I am today. And so that's my story.
If I visit Shillong tomorrow for a staycation,
yes,
can I get a membership at the Goals Gym Shillong?
Yes,
because I love Goals Gym.
Absolutely.
From one floor to another. And there'll be a nice spa there too.
All of it.
So how did you keep the gym running for two? Were your trainers giving classes on YouTube? Were you getting classes?
We were giving complimentary classes because obviously during COVID everybody is not in a position to pay you, right? So what my brother did is Zoom picked up that time. We started training the members. We started calling them, messaging them, guys, you need to work out. Okay, you're not working, or you may be, and so many people were suffering with mental issues during COVID, and my brother realized that working out is so important, and we decided strategically that all our trainers are any which ways not doing anything, and already they were being paid, right? So we started taking online sessions. We started posting group workouts on our Instagram page, our Facebook page, where members were able to join in, see, work out. We were having a lot of lives. So trainers were training teaching from their homes, and a lot of people were actually working out. So it was great.
So you had customized packages for COVID specifically, where your gym was still kind of working on an online?
No. That was completely complimentary from our end.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because we were more concerned about the mental sanity of our members, our existing members. We were not expecting them to pay at all because they had anyways paid for the membership. But the gyms are shut. It's not their fault. It's not our fault. But what we could offer, the best we could do for them is offer them to train so that they feel better and they come back stronger, right? When they are coming back to the gyms eventually. And that's what exactly happened. So many of our members came back even more fitter, right? After COVID. Yeah, of course, many of them did not even return, right? But then some of them came back looking fit and happy.
Now you've made your money back.
Yes, absolutely.
This money was a loan, this money was savings.
So we did have a bank loan also, and of course the family money also.
Was the bank forgiving for 2 years?
Not at all.
They wanted their money?
Nothing at all. We had no support from the banks.
Wow, okay. And
Yeah.
so your savings completely out of the window for 2 years?
Yeah, everything was being paid by the pocket.
So savings out of the window, you've invested 5-6 crores in a gym, COVID has hit, and now you decide, okay, I need to find some other way to start making money. And you've started a training session. And that training session returns are coming now 4 years later, now you have 80 people visiting. House of Homes had a retail store, you said, in 2019.
It has,
So
yes.
2017 you opened the gym, 2019 you have House of Homes, 2020 COVID hits. Now 2019 House of Homes, were you making money at that time?
House of Homes retail, because we started in 2019 till almost last year, I think we weren't, right? Because any which ways now with online purchases happening so extensively, I feel retail all over India has taken a hit, as in the shops.
What did you do for money? How were you able to pay
Initially, it was very difficult. The COVID years were very difficult,
How do you
right?
stay
Because the
safe?
gym to maintain the House of Home store was okay, but to maintain the gym expenses, it was like a white elephant, because even the machines need maintenance. They are not being run. They are shut, the machines, for months. We need to make sure that the maintenance is top class so that our machines don't get spoiled, right? So all that was, we were bearing the brunt from our own pocket. We just couldn't do anything. There was no choice. Either we shut down and be like, okay, we can't do anything. But my dad and my brother, they are so resilient. They were like, they just don't like to give up.
Source of income for these 2 years?
We have many other retail businesses also in Shillong, which were also shut during COVID.
Right.
So there was no other source. Everything was a
100%
complete
saving.
shutdown. Everything was going from the pocket. So my other stores also, my dad, which he runs, we were paying salaries to everybody. Everything was going from the pocket. But today we have all these people standing by us, like, they are rock solid staff support. Our support system is immense. In Shillong, like, everybody knows my dad for his principles. So that's what I have also learned, and my brother also, he's rock solid. Yeah.
Was
कि
there-
ठीक है, हमारे लिए कम होगा, no problem, but our employees, they needed even more than us, right? So he was all out for them.
Was there a part in the peak of COVID where you had, like what Krishna said, all these loans, so many businesses, you're trying to push, and then you probably step back and you probably thought, it seems like the universe is working against whatever I'm doing, and you went through that period. How did you survive that period? Did the thought ever cross your mind?
I think
how
at
did you?
that time, to be mentally sane was the only priority, because seeing
how
the
were you doing it?
by working out, right? So I had my trainer, my Gold's Gym trainer. I was in Mumbai, my family was in Shillong. So me and my daughters were training online with our Gold's Gym trainer, and that was keeping me somewhat sane. And yes, I was learning floral design on the side that time. So
During
that was,
COVID, were you a single mom?
yes.
Okay, so now I'm just flabbergasted, because you're telling me you had loans of 5-6 crores, you had your own retail store which had to shut down, you started a training program, and you're at home with a daughter and a son, two daughters.
Two daughters,
Two
yeah.
daughters.
Yeah.
During COVID, managing everything, and how?
So I didn't shut down our store. Yeah, our entire business had collapsed because of COVID, of course. But my two girls, that time both my girls were studying in boarding, but because of COVID, they both returned back. And it was not easy, I would say. Sometimes we would land up in a lot of fights, me and my daughters living in the same house, and into each other's face. But my daughters have learned so much with me while I was growing. They have grown with me so much. Even during COVID, when I was teaching, Zoom was very new. We did not know how to, make sure that the recording is in place or the class is being conducted well. My daughters were my support system. They were taking care of all the tech. They were pretty young that time, 4 years ago, and they have learned so much Today, both my daughters, they are more than half floral designers because they have been with me during my journey of teaching. And my older one, during COVID, she started her baking startup. She started making cakes and, like a small cloud kitchen sort of a thing. And she was very young. She was 17 and she was like, Mama, I need to make my own money. And she started making cakes and selling them out. It was amazing. I mean, it's beautiful. And my younger one was also out there supporting me, taking my pictures, taking my clips. I was posting them on Instagram, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Fast forward, rewind ho gaya bas. Let's lie down. Things are opening up. There was some point where you suddenly realized, oh, wonderful, I think we're out of it. We're going to start making money soon and it's looking good. When did that point reach? What year?
I think it's only been about 2 years now that
So 2022.
Yeah.
So 2019 to 2022.
Yes.
Absolute living hand to mouth, trying desperately to keep the businesses going.
Yes, it was difficult. It was very difficult. I think COVID, the second phase was still okay. Everything started opening up and they started allowing the gyms and all to open. And of course, luckily, I have my father as my support system, right? So he was taking care of everything. It's not like I had to do anything to bring the bread to the table. He was doing everything. But yeah, I always wanted to contribute from my end to the family because so many years I have not done anything, just been busy in my own life. And after COVID, I had a sense of realization that what am I doing with my life? Not that I need to bring the bread, but then I just wanted to do something out of my life so that I feel it just empowers you, right? Even there are times when it's not about making money or something very specifically. Yes, of course, money is a major motivating factor, but I just felt it feels good, when you see the money coming into your accounts. Like,
When was this? 2022?
I think almost 2022 end, I would say. Yeah.
Can you walk me through that?
23 beginning.
That day, do you remember that
I had
day?
lots of highs and lows till then, right? So I would say, 2023 beginning, I was like, chalo abhi. But yeah, I was teaching. That online workshop thing was happening. That was happening.
And you reached the paid thing had started?
Yeah, the paid thing had started. That was fine. But then I wanted to come back to my luxury gifting business, right? Because that was the one which took a very major hit. Teaching was happening on the side. My audience was growing. My Instagram page grew from 500 to 50,000. That was amazing. That was not a problem. Teaching was good. But then I was like, no, I need to now. We were not doing corporate gifting at that time, and then I started like strategically planning. I met a few people, consultants, and they charted out like a whole plan, like you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to meet so many people, you need to start networking. Networking was my biggest handicap. Like if people would come and talk to me and I would be like, why are you talking to me? Like I was that sort of a person, right? So I overcame my weaknesses and put myself out there. And I started meeting wonderful people there on 2023 onwards, where I think when you really will it in your heart, God just opens the doors, right? And then everything just started happening, one thing after the other, one thing after the other. My luxury gifting business picked up really well. And everything.
What was the trigger point that made your luxury business pick up? Was there
Triggers,
one surprise client, or there was one?
Not really. I think I started posting more on Instagram and then started small orders. First, inquiries started coming, then orders started coming. And previously, I used to be very rigid about certain things. I tried to change my mindset. Like it's okay. Like before, I used to be like, no, I'm only going to do a certain sort of hamper and only this fresh flowers. And then I was like, I started becoming more flexible. Not with the quantity, of course, because we do only bulk gifting, but yeah, more flexible with the budgets, understanding that, okay, people may not have such extensive budgets for their gifting. And and I really overcome one thing was my networking. I really started going out, meeting people, talking, and that was the game changer, because meeting one person led me to having 3 other business leads, and right, even more than my Instagram page or my LinkedIn, all that much came much later, my website and all. But I think once you really drop your guards and you just like surrender, I think that's the time it all happened.
So for the whole thing about luxury gifting, right? I mean, the whole word luxury tells me that it's above a certain level.
It's a niche.
It's a niche, right? So how do you get mass market appeal if you brand something as luxury? And why would a middle class person, even though they may be able to afford it, they look at it, oh, this is a luxury thing. I mean, I don't know. Why will they not pass it by? Because they just see the word luxury attached to it, and get a whole bunch of impressions that, oh, maybe this is above my range, or when they can. How do you even look at overcoming this, or do you want your whole brand to be associated with at a very niche level?
In fact, I think when you use the word luxury and you still offer them very reasonable prices, like this time when I was curating the Diwali catalog, I have a hamper which goes up to 8,000, 9,000 also, and I have a hamper which starts at 1,200 also. And when you open the catalog, the first hamper is at 1,200 and it's still coming under luxury gifting. But what makes it luxurious is that it has been curated by me. So I just feel everybody wants luxury, but of course at massy prices, right? So even the people who want luxury, but they really don't want to pay. That's what I've realized. But I think the word luxury has really helped me to market my products in a way. It's luxury doesn't mean that your price is also too high. Yeah, and when you tell people, okay, I have this hamper, this luxurious hamper for 1,100, they are completely sold.
No, but what about the people who just get put off hearing the word luxury? Oh, luxury, for me, give me something more affordable. What about? Do you find that there is still a group of customers who
they have a bias?
They have a bias. Oh, that is luxury. Oh, what else do we have?
I think it requires a little bit of talking to them, especially I feel right nowadays, especially in 2-tier, 3-tier cities, people have a point to prove that we are working with a certain brand, right? So maybe they are okay to pay a little, but if you talk to them like, okay, maybe you don't want to pay, but you still want that look, we do make that changes for certain set of customers where we feel that some people are nice to work with also. So the driving force is not always money, and it just works. Yeah, but like you said, they may be biased by the word luxury. So yeah, some people do need a lot of talking. If they come talking to us, if they inquire, right? If we have leads and they try talking to us, the first thing they'll ask us is, "Iska price kitna? Acha, aapke paas, do you have a little lower ranges?" We send out our pictures, which are the lower ranges. Then they automatically start feeling comfortable and they start feeling, yeah, we want to work with them because they do want the brand of House of Homes. Yeah, our gifts are from House of Homes this Diwali or this Christmas or whatever, right? Their Mendi parties or whatever. So it took a while to create that, but in every post or every reel that I make it a point to use the word luxury. Like that's become like a non-negotiable for me. And people, yeah, they do have a bias ki, okay, luxury bol rahe hain, so it must be very expensive. But when they come talking to us, if they're really interested, they find their way out.
So you're actually looking at changing the impression of the word luxury
yes.
to what you do.
Yeah,
luxury does not really mean that. It could mean I give you something really, really great, but at levels you can pay for.
I think it's more about aesthetics. Okay. It's more about time spent on curation and yeah.
So you get a lot of corporate clients also, I guess.
Yes, so we started working with corporates from February this year.
Who was your first corporate client? Do you remember?
Yes, Mr. Agnello Rajesh.
All right.
Yes.
And
I don't know.
remember that day, the first time you converted a corporate client?
Yes, he's a wonderful guy. I went to him and he wanted clocks. So he's like, can you just curate a clock for me and a hamper for me with my logo and this and that? And that's how it started, right? And we did a clock for him, like a big clock which went around the whole of Maharashtra, I think, to all the government offices and railway stations.
Is corporate gifting, or House of Homes or floral?
So House of Homes is gifting, it's floral design, it's workshops, and it's home decor store, which is in Shillong. So this brand has
decor is in
Shillong, yes.
Okay. And I'm still curious about he said something, right? Stereotypical thing, women like flowers. Stereotypical thing for me is that usually people go to school, become engineers, doctors, lawyers, they take a proper career job, etc. How did you ever consider that my career, the way I'm going to make money, is by providing gifting solutions to corporates?
No, actually it was never about corporates. Corporate just happened.
Okay.
Yeah, while I was networking and I started getting these orders, inquiries, leads. So corporate was never on my mind because corporates do not ask for too much decor and everything. They want more basic, like unless their gifts are going out to their CEOs or something like that. But usual corporate gifting is very box-like, Dhakkan, Khagadiya and that. But now they are also changing their mindset, and we are not doing the very massive gifts which are like 1,000 pieces, 2,000 pieces. We don't do that. We do up to 200, 250 max under corporate, right? Where it is premium and they have that sort of a budget where they're not, okay, we do have inquiries ki we want 400 rupees ka box, 500 rupees ke box mein you make something. We don't do that. Minimum we start is with 1,000, 1,100. Right? So Diwali also now this time we've created a catalog where we are starting from 1,100, 1,200.
How seasonal is this business?
Very seasonal.
So there will be massive periods and then
Yes,
some periods
yes,
with a
yes,
big lump.
yes. It starts from Rakhi. Rakhi is not such a big season for us. Ganpati picks up, then it's Diwali, then it's the wedding season, and then again after February it's pretty cold.
August
And of course
to
corporate events do they've started asking us for gifts now, like they need gifts in Jaipur or they need gifts in Bangalore. So that is something we are still tapping into because the logistics is not really working out that well for us, because gifts when they reach you there, they are in complete, so maybe trying to find some partners in different cities who can execute for us. So we are still discovering that part. But I think weddings and festivals work well. And that's another reason, that's why floral design, we started doing floral design for events. Like if there's a product launch, for example, Nykaa is launching a product, they need the florals, right? Or there's a new restaurant that is opening, they need the florals. There's Ganpati, they need the florals. There's a Diwali party, they need the floral decor. So this is not as seasonal, also very seasonal. In certain months it's really busy from Ganpati till Diwali. But I feel product launches and corporate events, they keep needing floral decor.
That is interesting. So let's say you convert a client and you've created a gift box for them and you've created something beautiful and they're sending it to people. Now if they have an event where they need a floral arrangement, are you their first?
I can do it. Not yet. Maybe they're doing only gifts with us, they're not doing the florals.
Are they aware that you do florals?
They are aware, but sometimes they do have their whole event people doing it. So the event guy is doing the chairs, the tables, the florals. So there's a team, right? So either I've not had a chance to do the gifts and the florals both for a particular event. Either we are doing florals or we are doing gifts. But yeah.
So you're not cross what do they call that word?
Cross collaboration.
Cross marketing.
Cross collaboration.
I think what you think is what do on Amazon, right? When you buy something, they're for something else.
And I feel like if you have a client already,
client,
and you're doing multiple stuff,
we're doing this and this and this also. Yeah, cross-referencing. So are you pan-India yet, or you're planning on getting there? How many cities presently?
So right now, gifting, we are doing majorly for Shillong because I have my base there. So now we'll be doing Christmas gifting there. That's really big. We do for all the bureaucrats. The gifting is done by House of Homes. And yeah, we did a few corporate hampers which we sent out to Jaipur and Bangalore, which, like I said, the logistics is still, we are still in the very, initial part of it. We really need to uncover that. But what I really love is that during off-season, what really picks up is my training, like when I'm offering team building activities for corporates. Right? Or we do trainings for five-star hotel housekeeping staff, right? So all this, or if there is a HNI dinner at one of these 5 stars and all, if we are approached by one of the event companies to do the florals of the tables or the entrances, I think that is something that is working throughout the year, and people want to be associated with brands ki, okay, House of Homes has done the florals of this. Now they don't want that now regular karigars coming in doing the florals. They do want to be associated with brands. Okay, tables have been done by this and that. So
but there is a plan, you have to go pan-India, right, to spread to other
training, yes. I'm not too sure about gifting, because like I said, the logistics and a gifting business is something which is very, like, a lot of people are doing it. So I really don't want to spend too much of my time and energy trying to figure out my partners all around the country. So I'm really happy with my Mumbai Shillong gifting. Shillong is just during Christmas that we do, and Mumbai is of course throughout the year. But training is something that is really, I mean, I'm just too obsessed with it right now, and florals.
So if I were to ask you, in this floral and gifting space, what really is your niche? What is the secret sauce you have?
I think just adding florals to everything.
I'm guessing it's also the fact that you're a brand ambassador via training.
Who's your biggest competitor? Let's try that. Do you have a major competitor?
In gifting, many.
Yeah.
Yeah, in gifting there are so many. I mean, people have been here for years, 20 years, 25 years. I'm just
You're the
5
only
years
person we
old.
know who's doing gifting. Generally, I don't
No,
know.
there are a lot of people who are doing premium gifting, especially for the celebrities or for the Ambani weddings. Ye, wo. So, hey, yeah, they do. So, we are also trying to now target all these HNIs for their gifting. Probably by next Diwali, we should be doing gifting for
So
all
you
the
keep saying
HNIs.
we. Who all are?
We is
all
my
are-
team. We is me and
You
my
and
team.
your-
Yes,
And
yes.
also the secret sauces, you're probably the only one who conducts classes. I mean,
Yeah,
would you say that's, I mean, your visibility comes, so you're the face of your business. You're literally the face because
Yes.
when you're training there, I mean,
Yeah,
you're telling people about that, and then they're going to ask, what do you do? And then voila, I have this brand, right? So, do you know if any of your other competitors are taking this approach, or are they just going the same?
There are a lot of people who are offering training as in of gift curation, gift creation, but the way I am teaching floral design on the online platform, nobody in India is.
So that's your secret sauce.
Yes, absolutely, and I'm so absolutely. The way I am taking these short courses, these 3 hours, 4 hours courses, or a masterclass over 3 days, where I'm teaching you the entire basics of floral design, and which enables you to start your own business.
So
Right.
has anyone who has started a business come up to you and, asked you to assist or, offered you a stake?
No, that hasn't happened. These are women who have
Yes.
just started out, right? So, I mean, I have not had anybody approach me. Out of my participants, they are doing well for themselves, and I'm really happy about that. Some of them are hardcore homemakers. They are just decorating their homes for their parties, not having to call floral vendors from outside and doing up the whole show by themselves, right? So they are really happy about that. And some of them have started a gifting business, and like since I had learned photography, I also taught my participants how to take aesthetic pictures of your gifts and how to build a catalog and start sending out. So like the whole gift styling, the whole process I do teach, and how to host your parties, how to do your table setups. So it's very empowering, especially when women do it themselves. By using the science of floral design, not that you just go pick flowers and rag diya. No, they're actually implementing the design elements and principles, and they're creating.
Share some of these design principles. Or what would
My favorite one is color and texture.
Okay.
So I always talk about color theory, how using the right color is so important in your design,
you
and
heard when I was trying to pick the right. Okay, thank you. So,
color theory is
color and texture.
important. Yes, I mean color is a game changer. The right or the wrong color can do so much good or bad to you.
How do you know you've done the right thing with coloring?
By following the color wheel, it's as simple as that. Of course, after so many years, it's become very intuitive. I look at it and I'm like, this is off. But when I teach with the I teach using the color wheel. So how you should use your monochromatics and how you should use your analogous complementary scheme.
Coming to color, I've always been fascinated by color. I find that color changes what is fashionable for color, changes across generations, across times.
You're dressed in one color.
Exactly. I'll tell you why. So when I was growing up, people said, you have to dress decently, simple colors, plain colors. And then when I grew up, they're like, oh, the stripes are good. Then there were checks, and when you have stripes and checks, it's multiple colors. And then when you go for a party, and then you grew up with one definition of what color is, and then it changes. And then one day somebody says, oh, let's dress in, what is this? Pastel colors. Let's wear florals. And all of a sudden, guys are wearing these florals and pastels and colors which they don't, light pastel colors, and that whole, maybe just me, this whole, it may be just me. Let me finish, please. So again, maybe because as generation, as time progresses, what is and since fashion is so tightly connected with color, I think that, in my opinion, that this is something which is subjective to one's own liking. And especially when people like him come and tell me, a lot of people have told me you're dark, you should wear something fair. And I've seen a lot of people who are dark, wear dark things and can carry it off well. So what one's impression of color is, I think is very subjective, but then you can probably prove me wrong. I'd like to hear your take on this.
I think color is, I don't think it's much to do. I think with Indian skin tones, a lot of colors go, especially the warmer colors, they look beautiful. And about solids and patterns, again, it's a personal choice. If somebody really wants to stand out in a particular party or a meeting, probably he would go for a solid, like a brighter color, and even patterns look good. Like I love checks, but yeah, basically as my personal preference, I just love solids. I wear patterns very less.
When you say solids, what exactly?
Solid means a plain color. Like if I'm wearing this is a solid black. There is no checks to it or stripes to it or a print to it, no florals to it. So that is solid, which is plain color, and patterns are patterns.
So when are solids normally associated with, I'm guessing formal functions. When you go to formal functions, you wear solids. In fact, I've not seen people wear checks or is.
You still can. It just depends how you style it. It's all subjective.
So in decorative gifts, right? So how does color play in there? I mean, do you have any designs which just go out of the ordinary, or does it follow a set pattern? How does that work?
So like we spoke about patterns and solids, right? So
Yeah.
that's about clothing. So when it comes to floral design or gift design, we like to use, if you really want to play it safe, when you go to the market to buy flowers, you're not sure because you see so many flowers, so many colors, right? It confuses you. I would say always go for a monochromatic scheme, and it's my personal favorite also. So you're using the same tints, tones and shades of the same color. So if it's red, if you're picking a red color, you pick a lighter shade of red, which is like a deeper pink, and then a lighter shade, which is like a rose pink. So that's a monochromatic scheme. So in florals, we have these colors, and then whites, blacks, golds, all these are neutral colors. You can use them anywhere. Green is a neutral color in floral design.
Are there any favorite colors which people tend to choose more when they think of?
In India, it's a lot of reds because for this traditional aspiration, it looks beautiful, and you can team it up with many other colors. I personally like pinks and peaches, but yeah, it's a personal preference. Even blues look great. Blue flowers are rare to find, except hydrangeas. But yeah, it's again a personal preference.
Monochromatic is your personal liking.
I love it, yes.
But you decided to move Shillong and Mumbai. That is anything but monochromatic. So let's look at Shillong. Family's always been in Shillong?
Yeah, so my family is from Shillong. I was born and brought up there. I finished my 10th there, and I moved to Mumbai to pursue my studies. I finished my commerce here. I graduated in commerce here. Very soon after that, I got married. So since
Father was always in Shillong?
yes, always there.
Grandfather in Shillong?
Always there. They were
So
actually
how
from
many
Pakistan. They
generations?
moved to Mumbai, and from Mumbai they moved to Shillong because my grandfather's entire family was moving to the northeast. Some went to Dibrugarh, some went to Guwahati. My grandfather and his older brother came to Shillong. It was pretty untapped there, and they started a retail business in clothing. And
Your
then
grandfather was a tailor?
not a tailor, we were sellers, retailers.
Distributors?
Retailers. Retail. We have
So-
shops of clothing, yeah,
You would-
multi-brand.
Even at that time, your grandfather would store clothing from Peter England, from
There was no Peter England and all that time. There were more local brands which he was sourcing from places like Gujarat and Maharashtra. We were buying saris from Banaras and Chennai, and we had like a multi-brand store. They were not brand at that time. 50 years ago, it was more locally available in India. He was sourcing stuff from all over India, catering to men, women, kids. A lot of his sourcing was done from Mumbai. The other market that time also existed extensively. And yes, from Ahmedabad, from Delhi. Banaras had like beautiful saris, they were coming from there. So, and Shillong has a lot of Bengali community apart from the local community. So,
I'm guessing your family is Punjabi?
Sindhi
Sindhi.
from Pakistan.
But you moved to Shillong.
Yes.
Are there Sindhis, Punjabis in Shillong?
Yes, now there are about 40 to 50 families, but when we moved, we were one of the only families. About
Any
50
reason your grandfather picked Shillong?
like I said, his brothers, all his cousins were moving to the northeast, somewhere in Dibrugarh, Guwahati, Kolkata. So they picked Shillong. I don't know, even I always ask this from my dad, like, why Shillong? Like, it's the end of the country. And even my dad is like, I don't know, something inspired him to move away from Guwahati. And he felt it was pretty untapped, and a retail business in clothing would do very well, which his foresight, he was correct. We have been there since really long and have done well for ourselves.
So your father born, brought up in Shillong?
My father was born in Bombay, and then we moved to Shillong after my father was born. So from Pakistan, my grandfather came to Mumbai with my dadi, of course, my grandmother, and my dad was born here, my elder Bua was born here, and then they moved to Shillong.
And since then, Shillong.
Since we've been Shillong.
And the retail store and everything is
Yes,
there in
yes,
Shillong
yes.
since then.
Yes, we have a chain of now retail outlets. We have all our few branded stores in Shillong, which my family is running there, my father and my brother. And I moved to Bombay because we did have a home back here in Mumbai also. So a few of my family members were here, like my dad's older sister was here and my dad's younger brother was also still in Bombay. So I wanted to study in Bombay. I loved Bombay from the time I visited it for the first time. So, and I always wanted to be here. I moved to Bombay in 1994, but every winter vacation I used to be in Bombay with my dadi. So I just loved Bombay. I mean, it was my calling.
Grandfather in Shillong, Dadi?
No, as in for winters, because winters is very cold in Shillong. So December, Jan, Feb, we used to have our school vacations. So my dadi would visit when she couldn't take the cold, even I couldn't take the cold. So since I was very young, my dadi would move to Mumbai for 2-3 months because, like I said, we had a home here, back home here. So she would bring all the grandchildren with her, and we would chill in Mumbai. And I said, my Bua was here, my dadi's elder daughter was here, my father's elder sister. So it was like I loved Bombay, and I always wanted to be here.
So let's say I want to go and do a staycation
Yes.
in Shillong. What are few things that you will tell me which are really good about Shillong, which would make me want to go and
You've never been?
No, I actually never. I've heard a lot about it.
Have you been to Northeast ever?
No, actually. No.
Seriously?
Seriously, I haven't yet.
Like Shillong is known as the Scotland of the East for many reasons. It's aesthetic to another level. It's beautiful. What I really love about Shillong is the weather. It's got a moderate weather throughout, but except, yes, of course, December, January is really cold. It doesn't snow, but it's cold. But the best time for a person living in Mumbai to go to Shillong would be around Diwali. It's beautiful, it's cold, chilly, nice, and it's not raining. And would be March. And the places to visit would be many, like there are beautiful falls, there's a lake which is right adjacent to my house, and then there is a beautiful golf course, and I mean lots of mountains and falls to visit,
What about
beautiful
cuisine?
resorts. The cuisine, the local food is good, but for anybody who is not from Shillong, you get everything from Indian to Chinese to Thai, everything. I mean,
Is it proper Chinese or Indian
so it's
Chinese?
the
or-
Desi, yeah, it's a Desi Chinese, yes.
Okay.
I visited Shillong, Cherrapunji,
Yes,
and
Cherrapunji.
Guwahati on a massive road trip, on a getting to know road trip with my in-laws. So when I first proposed to my wife, they're like, who is this Tamil Brahmin wanting to marry our daughter? So they said, let's just go out, let's have a small holiday together. So me, my wife, my in-laws, my sister-in-law went to Shillong, Cherrapunji. We went to the Living Root Bridges.
Yes.
We saw the Seven Sister Waterfall in Cherrapunji. We stayed in Shillong at the famous hotel which has a name. We also stayed in a hotel called Rick and Jay, which was
Beautiful, yes. That's
Beautiful.
one of the best properties, yeah,
and we stayed in
resorts.
one more place, which was a very old English style hotel, which is very famous. in
Pinewood.
That might be it, which I'm forgetting the name. The food was fantastic.
Yeah, it's almost
You
a
should-
100-year-old
Living Root
property.
Bridges are a sight. You should see it at least once in your life.
Yeah,
It's
the Mowling
literally
Bridge.
two trees on,
Yeah.
on opposite ends of a river.
I've
Then
seen the
With the
I've-
roots,
I've
yeah,
seen
with the
the
roots,
picture,
yeah.
It's
So
a trek, by the way. It's quite
Is it normal for people to cycle, or is the city industrialized like how?
It's
Mumbai
not
is?
industrialized, but it's pretty commercialized, I would say now, yes, yeah. And yes, it's a hub for cement. There are many cement factories in and around Shillong. Limestone, yeah.
Okay, coming to your, single parent raising. You mentioned in between.
What a segue, huh, Mario?
Really segue.
What a segue. We're talking about the
Yeah.
waterfalls, they're talking
Yeah.
about the lake, they're talking
Now
about the
this-
weather. Hey, let's talk about your sleep.
Yeah.
Zone A to Zone Z.
Useless.
Really
Absolute useless.
So here, this is a pattern I'm seeing, and when you mentioned it, I noticed. You spoke about how you were so, caught up, passionate about your floral business, and you said, your daughters were helping you,
Yes.
and they figured the Zoom thing out, and they were, like you said, kind of part of your business, and so much so that your eldest daughter decided to do a bakery startup on her own, right?
Yeah.
And your youngest daughter is helping you. Do you think that because you are an entrepreneur, your kids picked up on that because mom's doing that, she's being successful. Let's not take the corporate job route. Let's not. This seems to be the thing for us. Let's start something around. Do you think that's played on your kids because they've seen their parents doing that?
I think with my daughters, what they have seen is the hustle, right? They have learned that things don't come that easy. You need to really work for it. And like I see children today, for them to go around spending their parents' money mindlessly has become, with no offense to any parenting. But with my daughters, they have the value for money, right? They understand that you need to put in a lot of hard work. My mom, she works hard, and that's how, of course, they've been fortunate. They've had good parenting, comfortable parenting, childhood, right? But still, they have learned one thing, that no, life is not a bed of roses. We need to work hard. We need to study. And family is a team, right? If my mom needs to grow, I need to support her. And while supporting me, they have grown in numerous ways, right? Especially my older daughter, she's with me. My younger one is in boarding school, still away. My older daughter has picked up so many skills being with me. I always tell her, I always make fun of her that the guy who marries you will be very lucky because she has acquired so much at such a young age. She's working in a fintech company today and doing well for herself. It's her first year working, and she's doing CFA on the side, and she doesn't feel bothered that okay, life is mean, oh, I'm not getting paid enough for the work I do, because she understands that this is how.
Who started the bakery?
Yes, yes.
She's hustling like crazy.
Yeah, she's not.
CFA and the fintech. And
Yes. No, she's not. The bakery was only during COVID, because she started making cakes and then she started getting orders, and that was the time there were no cake shops. Everything had shut down, right? And people started calling, okay, can you make for us? It's my daughter's birthday. Da, da, da. So out of a hobby, she made a profession out of her hobby. But that was only till COVID. After that, she had to complete her graduation because she was studying finance and economics, which is pretty hectic. Russell Square in Juhu. Yeah. So that course was very challenging. So of course, once COVID settled and colleges reopened, she shut her business and she started studying. And as soon as she finished her graduation, she signed up for CFA and she started working. She was working with Aditya Birla, then she moved on to this another company. So my children understand that they need to work, right? I mean, that's.
How old were your kids when you were a single mom?
My daughter was 10, older one, and the younger one was 5. So since then, it's been like,
No
so
resentment, no.
No. Everything
no,
is.
No lashing out of any kind, no
No,
rebellious natures of any kind.
I mean, those teenage rebellions are always there,
no
right?
Blaming, no.
No.
So how do you teach values to a child as a single parent? I'm struggling as me and my wife. We struggle to teach our daughter. You've done it all alone with 2 kids.
I mean, he tries to teach people who are not his kids.
He's trying to compensate there, right? So what happens is, it's to support my family, like my parents, my brother, my sisters, my
Do you
close
all live
friends. No, my parents are back home in Shillong.
So
But the
that doesn't
support
count.
is,
How do
no,
you-
because my mom would travel back and forth, I would travel back and forth. And I've had an amazing, my cousins are there, most of them are in Mumbai. My dad's sisters are there. I have had wonderful friends. So, I mean, and I have, I feel my dad, of course, everything is because of him. Like, he has given me the stage to perform, right? So, I mean.
Tell us about your dad. You
Oh, my
messed up
dad.
the 3rd time now. So
My dad is everything. He's my God, and he is this powerhouse. Like, whenever I feel deflated and defeated in life, all I need to do is call him and he's like, this is piece of cake, don't worry, we'll be taken care. And there's so many times, life brings situations where we feel like, okay, now I just cannot get up and it's done and I can't do it. How will I raise 2 kids? And now they're growing up. Kids have, when they're teenagers, it's pretty challenging. And traveling back and forth, boarding school, this, that. But my dad, I mean, my mom is a silent warrior. She would give me strength silently. My brother also, be it my bhabhi also. But my dad was so forthcoming. I mean, for him, no challenge is a challenge. For him, impossible is nothing. Can do it. Go ahead. Ho jayega, ho jayega. I have never heard my dad tell me ki, oh shit, ye kya ho gaya? Yeah, you can't just do it. And he's always told me, don't worry. Everything is sorted. And he has made sure everything is sorted. He has helped me establish my own self. He's established my kids, and I owe him everything, right?
Is your dad the, for lack of better word, masculine authority with your kids?
I think not really. I don't think that sounds a little harsh. I don't know, for some reason, because my dad is more like a friend to my kids. Like my daughter, my older one especially, for her, my dad is like everything. Like for me, like, so for everything, Nanu this, Nanu that, and everything is like, so he's more like a buddy to them. And of course, he is like,
Who's the disciplinarian in your house? Dad or mom?
My dad, he works by the clock, right? So I mean, I've become like him now. 5 baje karne ka time hai, 6 baje karne ka time hai. I've also got into this disciplined routine where I feel everything goes by the clock, and everybody tells me you're just becoming like that, and I'm so happy about it. I love my disciplined life.
So, okay, your grandfather moves to Shillong, you have a retail store, your dad is managing this retail store. Now you're saying you have a chain of retail stores.
Yes.
Is it safe to assume that you're coming from money now?
Absolutely, because my grandfather, when he started off 50 years ago, he picked up really well, right? Because there were very few people who were actually in the retail business, and the locals in Shillong were more into jobs, they were not into businesses. And my grandfather, along with my dad, they ran the show. My dad got all his brothers married, settled all his other brothers, and built whatever we have today.
Right, so you come from money. Even then, you've decided, no, I'm going to set up a gym. No, I'm going to go and spend hours standing in front of a camera, speaking to just 3 participants for free. I'm going to make sure my Saturday is ruined. I'll do a 3-4 hour workshop because it's not ruined for me. I like doing it. I'm going to do it. When you're comfortable in life, where you feel like, no, I have money, I can manage, why are you still hustling?
I think because I always wanted to. As a young girl, I never wanted to be married and be a homemaker. I wanted to do my MBA, and like I was very fascinated by the idea of being in a suit. I used to just love it. Whenever I used to look at these foreign women, 25 years ago, you wouldn't see many Indian women in those power suits, right? And when I would look at them, and I would be like, I want to be that woman, right? And okay, for whatever reasons, I was married. I couldn't pursue my professional life, but there was something deep down in me.
The marriage itself, did you say yes finally because your grandfather said, or did you say, Dad, I don't want to get married, and your dad said, it's okay, better get married for now? We'll see.
Actually, you know what? During that time, 25 years ago, being married at the age of 21 was a very normal norm. Okay, you're 21, it's time to get married. Oh no, I want to do my MBA, no need this, kya karna hai pad ke. The thing wasn't there. Like today, we want our kids to study, to work, to find that sense of, self-worth in their work, and it somehow just builds your identity. Today, I feel working is a must. Every girl should work.
I'll tell you why I keep asking this. Because my curiosity is, here is Bhavna. She comes from a very moderately rich family, no issues. They're not worried financially. They did go through a crisis in COVID, and there was obviously a lot of pain there. We've explored that. But then here is Bhavna. She decided, fine, society wants me to get married, I'm going to get married. Was a stay-at-home mom, did her job as a mom, raised her kids. Kids are okay now and are managing and are boarding school, are working in Aditya Birla. Now is when you can put your feet up and be like, theek hai, ho gaya mera kaam. No, you are deciding, no, I'm going to stand and give a 3-hour lecture for 2 participants. Why? Okay. Was that fire always there and you were like, wait, I'll unleash this fire at the right time? Or did something happen where you're like, no, I have to do this now?
I think I started having a lot of time, and like I devoted so much time behind family, children, and other things that I felt like I didn't do anything for myself, right? So
when did you start feeling this?
Oh, I started feeling this even while I was in my marriage. I wanted to do something. So almost like 15 years ago, there was this whole course that was launched on image consultancy and soft skills. ICBI launched this course in India. For the first time, image consultancy was being taught in India, and I read the ad in the Times of India.
What is it, image consultant?
So it is, they train you how to become image consultants, where you are teaching people how to take care of their dressing and the way they conduct themselves, or how they present themselves, the body language. So there's customer service, and there is like, it's a lot of things. It's very diverse. So 15 years ago only, I was like, I want to do this, but unfortunately, because of many things that happened in my life, ups and downs, I couldn't do it. And then when my kids grew up, I picked up this business of gifting, right?
Why?
Because I had so much time and I wanted to do something.
I don't
because
think so. That's too simple. I don't think
that's time is one thing. Another thing is like, the kind of person I am, I have this hunger to grow all the time. Even when I was not doing anything, when I was a homemaker, I would keep learning classes, doing things like learning photography or calligraphy or painting or drawing or learning how to swim with my kids. I just cannot not just be like just the kitty party style and okay, go have lunches, come back, dress up, go holidays.
Did anyone teach you this, or do you think you were born with it?
I just love to learn. I mean, I just like during COVID also, apart from my floral design, I did so many courses. Like I would love to, like with the bartending course I did, I studied wines, I studied cheese. So I studied chocolates. Like I am so fascinated. Whenever I have time, I just go quickly sign up for a course. Like COVID has done this thing so amazing. You can learn from any part of the
Do you
world.
remember a time in your life when you weren't like this? Has this happened post-marriage, post-kids, where you just want to do something? Or do you remember always being like this?
I was always like that. I loved to
Always?
study. I was a bookworm. Like my grades were great, and like exam ke pehle to वैसे like you know I today also, like whenever I have little time, I open my image consultancy books and I start preparing for a test. So I just love to study. I mean,
And your children have seen you like this?
yes, they're telling me like, Mama, why all day you're in front of a laptop? What are you doing? And I'm so looking forward now. I'm going to incorporate image consultancy and soft skills into my training, because I do train right on floral design corporates. Now that's my second career that I'm looking at apart from House of Homes. I want to build an image consultancy
Okay, hold
profession.
that thought. I'm going to interject here. Now, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go back to a question he asked you. So, you're a homemaker, you're a business owner, you're motivated, you're charged up, your kids are saying, Mom, you're doing so much. You're literally doing two parent roles. You're literally two parents in one. That's how I'm seeing it. A few minutes ago, Krishna asked you, who is the masculine figure in your family? And you said your dad, right?
No, she didn't say that.
She didn't say
I
that.
think
Okay.
masculine energy. I don't
Energy.
see him being that bossy dad or grandfather. No, he's more like
That's not necessary.
No.
Bossy doesn't need to be
Yeah.
masculine energy. So
that way, yes. If you mean it that way.
But if my point is, in your case,
And my brother too, yes.
is a masculine figure even really needed? Because in my opinion, you're doing both. I mean, so it's a psychological
Exactly,
figure, right?
yes.
A family has to have a man and a woman, but you're two in one. So is that something that you feel society should slowly start to shake? That when we have a family, there should be somebody enforcing rules. There should be a good cop and a bad cop. But I can see that you're two in one, and in fact, your kids get both sides from you. What's your take on this?
My kids do get both the sides, and of course their father is also there, So, but yeah, but
how often do they see that father?
maybe once in few weeks, because one of them too is in boarding school and the other is also working. Now she's grown up, so kids also have a life of their own, and everybody's built a life of their own. So I feel kids don't need parents that much now, as much as they needed earlier. And of course, like you asked me, right, about the male, that would be my dad and my brother. And my whole family, like my dad's brothers, my chacha's children, the boys, the girls, my sisters, my cousins, everybody has played such a great role in helping me raise my daughters, right? Or even building my work. Like there were times when I started my work, my sisters, my cousins have just gone out of the way to help me. So I'm very lucky with the support system I've had. There are days where you just want to cripple and you just don't want to stand, but they made sure that you're up and going.
One of the talks that I give wherever I'm giving it, one of the topics I cover is resentment.
Yeah.
So I have this theory which I say everything in life there is a duality concept, right? There's a good and bad to everything. Except one thing. I feel that the emotion of resentment, there is nothing good that comes from it. Resentment is basically when you fail at something, you feel like, why did I even try? I'm never going to try this again. You get into a relationship, when I go bad, I'm never getting into a relationship again. I started a podcast didn't work, man, screwed. Why do I even try to do these things? The resentment is, the way I describe resentment to anyone is, it's an amrutanjan for your ego. When your ego gets hurt, you make it feel, okay, don't worry, we'll never try this again, In this entire conversation thus far, I am not hearing any resentment from you about anything. You took a loan, your gym, COVID hits, it's okay. Sambhal lenge. You're in a relationship, you're having to manage 2 kids by yourself, it's okay. Manage kar lenge, I have family, I have a support system. I'm pretty sure there must be moments in your life where you felt resentful. Could you teach us how do you not let it get too far? At what point is like, bus, enough, I'm not going to feel worse than this, time to get to work. How do you get yourself out of it?
I think there have been many number of times when I have felt immense pain and immense resentment. I think what has really helped me is a few things that have helped me, of course, apart from my family's support system, is my gym, and it's the way I eat. And I have given up alcohol because that also triggers the anxiety, the emotion. It's been almost a year. So I used to be such a wine drinker. I used to be looking forward to my weekend wine glass and everything. And I realized that it was doing more bad than good. Okay, I felt good that time and maybe it was helping me.
How much wine would you drink in a weekend?
I could drink 2 glasses of wine, 3 glasses of wine easily. I used to love my wine.
There's a wine bottle within your arm's reach here.
I don't drink anymore.
3 glasses of wine was a problem for you?
It was never a problem. I used to love my wines or any other drinks. I used to enjoy it thoroughly. But when I got into this gymming more seriously, this is my mantra, my gymming really helped me. Leaving drinks helped me. Nutrition, I eat the same food every day. Like literally my maid is like, Didi, aap bored nahi hote ho. It's my same. So morning if I work out fasted, right? I go to the gym, I come back. Then I would eat my 3 eggs, I'll eat my toast, my almond butter, my chai, then lunch is chicken or fish, and then dinner is either mutton. I'm a hardcore carnivore. I eat a lot of, I have a protein shake, so I eat a lot of meat, a lot of protein. But I just feel it works for me a lot. I eat the bhajis and everything, but I'm no more of that aloo paratha and dosa. Okay, I'll eat it once in a while, but my diet is monotropic. I just eat the same food every day and I love it. I think it's doing great to me. It keeps me mentally sane, and I love sugar. I love my chocolate cake. I indulge in that. I really have that once in a while, my chocolates. And what has also really helped me is my spiritual journey. I connected with Art of Living few years ago, and then again I disconnected, then again I went back. So the practices that Art of Living teaches you, Sri Ravi Shankar, the kind of breath work, the meditation, the way at the levels it can heal you and rediscover parts of you which you have never thought could ever exist. I think it's fantastic.
So you do the Surya Kriya thing every morning?
Sudarshan Kriya. Yeah.
Every morning?
Yeah. Some days I do miss when I don't feel like getting up. So yeah, the mantra that he gives you.
The habits that you have,
yeah,
those habits more often than not, even when you need to feel resentful, they won't let you feel resentful.
Yes.
You have gym, you have
they
your
buffer it
nutrition,
out.
you have your Sudarshan Kriya.
Yeah,
those
they buffer it out.
things
Yeah.
Always make sure. Okay.
They buffer it out, and of course,
What advice would you
chocolate
give,
cake helps
What
always.
advice would you give to someone who goes to the gym regularly, but since they go to the gym, they believe they are entitled to 2 cans of beer in a day and chicken supreme pizza on the side because they work out? Do you think that's a good balance to keep? What advice would you give these people?
I think you must have the chicken pizza and the beer, but maybe once a week is okay, or maybe twice a week. But that if you're going to the gym and every night you are allowed to indulge, maybe you can do it in your 20s or 30s. But since I've come into my 40s, I feel we cannot afford it anymore.
So Bhavna, you had a fantastic conversation. I think there's a few learnings I have, but I still want to get some advice from you. What would you say if someone tells you, यार इंडिया में there is so much unemployment. हमें jobs मिलेंगी नहीं, हमें नौकरी मिलेगी नहीं. What do we do with our life? How would you, without judging them, how would you give them advice? Look, there is way too much opportunity. Here's my example without being arrogant. Here's what I did. Here's what you can do.
I think the best part about this is what I would have to tell them is to acquire a skill. They may be having some sort of education at the base level, but if you acquire a skill and you master it and you practice it and you go after it wholeheartedly and wait for it by the time it gives that returns and there is a time when it can pay you heavily.
How do you get someone to wait for a result? And I'll tell you why I'm asking. I do have juniors in my own office now. If I tell them that, look, you need to learn Excel, simple thing. You have to learn Microsoft Excel because there are some models you're going to make in finance. There's basic VLOOKUP index match you need to understand. Try to learn macros, it will help you. The moment I say that, I can see their eyes glaze over. I can see that they've lost interest. Because most of the times, any formula they need to write in Excel, they can get it from ChatGPT. Any code they need for macro, they can Google it, YouTube mein mil jayega, dalo, finished, Excel work done. I find it difficult to explain to them that it's not just the fact that I want you to get the output, I want you to be able to think in that way. Financial modeling is not just Excel. It's learning to think in that financial way, and Excel is just a tool that will help you. I'm not able to get through to them. How can you tell someone who doesn't have a job today, who doesn't feel like they have prospects, learn how to wait, learn to put in that time?
I think it's a habit that has to be cultivated. Of course, you can do the counseling, especially with the younger generation now. Their attention span is so short and they want that quick gratification. So that's become like a mindset. If we have started working today, we should start being paid that much or even more today. So I think you have to counsel them, maybe talk to them, and there has to be a shift of mindset, which is easier said than done, but it can always
With
be
your
worked
daughters,
upon.
ever no short-term gratification they were looking out for?
Like my older one, when she started working, the package she was offered, she was like, Mama, I don't think they're paying me enough. But like I said, she has also seen my journey or the family's journey where she has seen everybody works very hard. My dad is 73 years old. He works almost for 12 hours today. So maybe the right role models, if are spoken about, I'm lucky I have them in my family. When I always quote to my daughter and she sees for herself. But maybe when you can quote such examples, you can inspire them in ways which is, of course, it's a constant work, especially with people who are working with you. They become like your mini family, they're like a unit. You have to be constantly talking to them, inspiring them and motivating them and showing them the benefits of delayed gratification.
Wouldn't this be true in every family? Like, your daughter saw you.
Yeah.
Isn't it fair to say other people's children are seeing their parents? And I would guess that most parents are working, hustling, trying to provide for their family.
Yeah.
They must be noticing this. Why is it that, do you think that this instant gratification thing has become such a big problem today?
I think that's also one of the reasons is because of social media, and it's just about the way children are being raised also. Everything is too easily available and at their disposal. Especially children who are coming from fortunate families, for them everything is very easy to acquire and they wish for it and they have it.
What about your daughters? Was it
With
easy
my
to
daughters, I have given them my best, but I have not given them everything I should, right? There were times where I would restrain and I would, when it comes to education or when it comes to their training or learning skills, I have done beyond my best, me and my family. But when it comes to just having things, gadgets, and I think I have restrained them a lot. Right? So, for whatever reasons, maybe because there were two girls, I needed to be a little strict. My daughters never tell me that I'm strict. I believe in them, I trust them, they have the freedom. It's a balance basically, and there is no parenting that is perfect. I've had so many times, there have been so many issues where we do have fights between me and my daughters, and we have differences. But I think it's a process, it's a journey, and we as employers, like in your case, have to not give up on them. I mean, try till a certain extent and motivate them and show them the good side of for example, having to learn Excel. And yes, at the way the world is so fast paced with artificial intelligence coming now, maybe what you're trying to express that I do want my employees to, think and learn to think, learn to analyze. ChatGPT is making us lazy, our brains lazy. We're not trying to think, we're just copying, pasting. But maybe that's how the world is going to evolve in a certain time where not much thinking is needed. Maybe the thinking is required for other things. So since there may be a generation gap between you or your employees, like every 5-7 years there's a generation gap, they think very differently from what you may think or I may think. So we just have to also adapt and maybe just allow them to, have it their way somewhat, little bit, and have it your way. Like basically meeting in the middle.
On that note, did you have a question?
Yeah, probably just, you're a single mother and you've accomplished so much. This is the last question. Across the world, when people raise families, there's always two. There's the husband, there's the wife. In some countries, there's the husband and the husband, the wife and the wife. There's always this couple notion. Husband, wife, maybe even now you have LGBT couples. But in your case, you've raised it single. What I feel is, people are more accepting psychologically for there to be a pair rather than for it to be done single. That's what I feel. You're single. I mean, there's nobody else. I mean, what's the kid going to think? But you've been able to do that. So for someone like me, maybe if I want to think of, raising a kid in the future, anyone single, maybe me, do you think the future looks positive?
Adopting a kid, right, someday?
Yeah, possible. Yeah. Do you think that the future looks positive, or do you think society is still pretty much tilted against us because they always feel that there has to be a couple, which is better than one?
I think single parenting has its pros and cons both, because when you're parenting single, it's your word, right? Usually what happens is children today, if the mom says no, they go to the dad, and the dad says no, they come to the mom. So it's sometimes very conflicted, I would say. In my family, there is no conflict. It's my way or the highway, right? So of course, I do meet my kids in the middle and I do let them be, but it's each to their own, and it's just what you adapt to. And of course, kids do feel there is a certain part, like maybe now today it's become so normal for children to grow up in families where the families have moved parted ways. It's normal, but yeah, maybe somewhere deep down it does leave some sort of gap or a scar where they feel like, okay, we did not grow up in a complete family. But I always tell my children, like, there are so many families, so many kids who lose out on both their parents, right? So I think kids today adapt very quickly. What I have seen with my kids or my friends' children or many other kids who are growing up with the one parent, I think kids are really okay today. Right? They adapt and they're happy, and they find their ways to cope, and sometimes it does work for them also. Like I feel in my case, my kids, it has worked well for them. Rather than being in a family which is disturbed, it's better to be in a peaceful family where both the man and woman are separate. They are living their own lives and bringing their best to their kids.
On that note, it was a pleasure to have you, Bhavna. Thank you for
so
gracing our
much,
podcast.
Krishna.
It did feel like it was your
Thank you
first
so much.
Thank you,
podcast.
Mario. Thank you. I'm honored to be a part of your podcast.
That's one more episode in the books. I hope you guys had fun. Cheers.